Hi everybody, Scott Hogan coming to you here from the Scott Hogan Golf Performance Center here in Joliet, Illinois. Today we're going to be talking about one of the things I learned last week at the PGA Show from Brad Faxon, one of the great putters of all time, and something that I think everybody can apply into their stroke no matter who you are to help them become a more consistent putter and somebody that's more comfortable on the greens. So I was able to chat with Brad Faxon just for a brief few minutes, saw him at a couple of different things at the show, a couple different seminars, and one of the things I always am interested with putting is how do we as golfers, I know in my own game, I'll have a day where I feel invincible on the greens, and then from the next day, it can feel like I'm putting opposite-handed, and that's something that can be a little bit confusing because it's a fairly simple task. We're getting a ball to roll down our intended line, and if we've read the green correctly and we've put the right speed, we should have some good results. But I'll find that when you're getting some feels and talking to students, some days it just doesn't feel right. And I think we all can relate to that a little bit. So I wanted to ask him, how did he feel like he could stay consistent and putt well from day to day? And one of the big things that we were talking about is what he had seen from players over the greats over all of these years of golf is, no matter who you were, we saw Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, they would get set up, and they'd get in something like a crouch posture, looking more down the line, and they'd putt that way. Nowadays, you're seeing a more traditional posture, more straight back, a little taller, and we're working from that position. But what was the thing that was common for all of them? And what it is their center, the center of basically where their stroke is coming from, which turns out to be right around where your sternum is, kind of right in your chest area, that always stays very consistent in how your height goes. So when I'm making a setup, what I want to be focusing on, and especially if you're practicing in the winter, you only have a putting mat to practice on, and you really want to work on setup, what we're looking for is, I want to figure out if I can figure out a consistent feeling of my height for the day. So you can use mirrors. We'll use a lot of putting mirrors, eye mirrors to help with that. We actually measure, I'll actually go through and measure our players to figure out where they should be, and then we'll just get the tape measure out and check that on a regular basis, because you can get off by an inch or two, and that can matter as you go. But we're looking for a consistent height with our sternum at address. And what that does is, as I go taller and shorter, that starts to affect my time. And you'll remember from a couple videos ago, the timing of the stroke is a huge part of being a successful putter. So as I get taller, the timing might get longer than what I want. And if I get shorter or closer to the ground, it's going to get shorter time-wise than what I'd want. And that starts affecting my ability to control speed and where the putter face is pointed to be able to make some good strokes and get the ball rolling on line and get it to go towards our target. So again, as I hit putts and I'm taking my setup, my goal is to start getting a feel for how far my sternum is from the ground and start hitting some putts feeling like I keep that very, very consistent feeling throughout the stroke and then from putt to putt. So it's one of the best tips actually I've ever heard. I had not heard that before from a player about putting, that exact terminology for how we do a posture and putting. It was a great tip. It's something that we've already implemented into our academy, our teaching, and we've seen immediate results as far as how the strokes look, the readings we're getting on our equipment, and it's been a great help. And I know I've already tried it and I've already seen that, hey, it's worked out really good. So it was a great week last week at the PGA Show. I'm always excited to go there, not only to learn more for you guys and for my students, but also I like to learn something that might help me with my own game as well. And so we'll share with you some more tidbits from a great week that was last week. Going through all the data right now, again, breaking it down, and we'll have plenty of more coming up for you. So make sure you subscribe below, and we'll make sure you'll get notified when we send out the content as we go throughout the weeks and the upcoming months as we get closer to a good golf year here. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.